So directly off. Now, unless you didn't watch the last video, in which case I'm just like coming on all brazen and shit. But like I said, I'm in a mood. Maybe you didn't hear that, but I'm in it. Uh, where was I? Oh yeah, synchronicity. Spotters deal with synchronicity. We read cues. Now, value is the plot structure to this. Value is the baseline. What value is essentially is reality. When you say watch a movie like The Matrix, that was a really good example. When he reads the code, Keanu reads the code, and he sees that. That's it. That's exactly it. It doesn't look like that, but it is like that. There's a code playing out all around you. There are values that tell things to be what they are. There's a force in play that tells every little thing to be what it is. And you, in fact, are a system of values that make up your personality. Each can, values that consider each other, values that conflict with each other, values that cascade. A system of associations is what makes up your persona as a human entity. That's the anatomy of identity. And there are several aspects to this that we can get at. In fact, I'm going to have to speak to aspects as a topic in and of itself, but uh, each value is an ultimate reality. The values, first, there's love. Love is unconditional. That's the definition of it. Love is by definition unconditional. What love is not happy feeling like I love the kitty. That's loving, sure. That's caring. I love Fiasco, alias Mildred. I call her Mildred because she looks like a Mildred sometimes with that stink eye she gives me. But love is everything. Love is investment. That's all. That's what love is. It's a commitment, an investment. And you know that. Everybody knows that. It's intrinsic. You understand that already. You just didn't identify it yet. Well, there you go. Happy birthday. Value is where love kind of fractures. This unconditional investment, it consolidates in certain areas of interest, and that's what makes up our reality. Like the chair says, rest, sit here. That's value behind the chair. Then there's going to be values like craftsmanship. There's going to be values like aesthetics. There's going to be all kinds of values that make up what this chair is, but ultimately it's just sit here. That's the value. Then there are going to be aspects attached to that value, which fracture when you look at something, when your perception goes to something, not when you look at it, but when you consider it, when you are comprehending something, your perception moves to that thing towards the value via magnetic compatibility, which is that's the plot structure, really. Magnetic compatibility is what's happening. That's the game that we're playing. When you consider something, your perception falls towards it via magnetic compatibility. That's a form of that's a level of gravity. It's not a different form or a version of gravity. It's just another level of gravity that we haven't identified yet. Well, we've identified it, but science has. Because science doesn't have tools to identify it, so they don't, care about it or consider its reality because they can't touch it or see it or measure it. But in fact, they can touch it, see it, and measure it because they have the tool right here. They just they're looking from it and they don't see it happening right behind their eyeballs. But magnetic compatibility is how values collaborate. Values fall into each other based on determinations and intention. If I want to sit down, my perception is going to fall to that chair. And when it does, when it falls to that chair, it's going to hit the aspects attached to it. Now, the aspects are going to be usually made up of memories. The three primary elements that make up magnetic compatibility and synchronicity, that make up existence, the existence concept, are going to be gravity, that which collaborates, that which draws things together, that which maneuvers things around, holds things in place. Gravity is the force that's the binding agent. Memory, second one. Memory is it. Memory is what it is. Memory is matter. Memory is simply a configuration of values that remember to be what they are. That's a memory. That's what memory is. It is a It is a substance or a configuration of substances, of things, of items of inquiry, of values, a sphere of influence that remembers to be what it is in relation to its gravity. Then, relativity. Relativity is the association of things. It's how things interact with each other, how things consider each other, how two things are going to identify with each other. It's reflection. Reflection is the ultimate. That's what everything is. Everything is reflection. And uh, we as you can see, is difficult to identify with this because you are it. Is the same thing as I just said with science not recognizing that their brain is the tool that grasps the things they can't understand with their machinery. It's difficult for us to identify with reflection because we are reflection. So our comprehension of reality is actually moving in reverse. It's inverted. Time itself, as we know it, which time is space. Everybody knows that. If you don't, sorry, but here, catch up. Time and space are the same thing. There's no difference between them. Time does not move, neither does space. Perception moves. Perception moves, and time exists as a kind of a holographic reflection of that movement. You are a projection of it. So time is fixed, time is static. You are the dynamic principle. Your existence, your perception, your observation. That's the dynamic principle that influences the feedback you get from the time that you're observing. We understand this easily from quantum mechanics. If you don't know that, here you go, catch up. Let's get moving faster, peeps. We know that the observation of a thing is what determines its presence. It presents itself, and what in fact you are doing is not really observing so much as you are directing. You tell a thing to be what it is when you observe it. And so here's a basic principle. Keep this under 10 minutes again. You are the dynamic principle that influences things. You are observing the nature of a thing in reverse. That you are perceiving things backwards. You think that you look out there and you see a thing that's out there and it's fixed and you get a reflection of it. That's not the case. It is a reflection of you. The reason exists first, then there is an explanation created for it, and it just, you don't see it happening because A, it happened so fucking fast, and B, it happened so fast it's now, and B, it it's backwards. You are it, so you can't witness it happening backwards, but that's what it is. It's an inverted cycle. Time and time is one dimensional. It's just one dimension. There's just one thing. But it folds in on itself, and that creates a three-dimensional aspect. Your eyes are folding time in. Your light, sound coming in, and everything's made of sound. By the way, get that. It's not light. I think that, again, I think people think that everything's made of light, but light is made of sound. So it's all vibration. Everything is a frequency, you could say. A lot of people have said that, but there you get the gist of it. It's not just it's not an abstract spiritual new age. I hate that term, by the way. I mean, new age, dude. We've been talking about this shit for hundreds of thousands of years. Don't fucking give me your new age jargon, kid. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm just sorry. I'm not being trying to be offensive to people, but for real, get with the program, son. You don't know what you're talking about. This new age nonsense. This shit has been going around forever, and it's just taken this fucking long for most of us to get it. But it's really basic. It's really simple. Not only is it basic and simple, it's so easy. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And doing this, getting engaged with this, when you get with synchronicity, look at me. Why do you think I'm fucking jacked up? Because I did some work tonight. I got a lot of shit done. I got some people on board, and I got these synchronicities rolling, and they pay you off. You get energy from that. The world repays you If you work for it, it compensates you. That's where we got the idea of making jobs. Everything that we do is a microcosm. It's cosmological, and refers not just to size and proportion, not just to our relation to particles and our relation to the cosmos. That's in relation to our thought process, our considerations, our values. And as like I said about I was needed to had to finish off about magnetic compatibility. Is that that's how synchronicity operates. When you have a certain signature, a value system that gives off a frequency, it resonates with other frequencies that are of the like way. And this is the laws of attraction. Like attracts like. Your frequency, the signature that you give off, the value system that you project, it's going to it's going to go off, and it's going to move right through anything that doesn't identify with it. Anything that isn't like to that frequency, that doesn't match it, is just going to move right through it until it smacks up against something that is like to it. And that like thing is going to be the answer to the question. It's going to be the solution to the problem. If you tell the world, I am something, I have something, then that frequency is going to smack up against that something, and it's going to pull it towards you. There's going to be a gravity between the two. And you can actually see this happening. If you practice viewing halos with your eyes, you can get to a point where you can work that muscle in your eye and you can actually see this fucking webbing everywhere. It's pulling things together. It's all over the place, and it's crazy, and you can actually kind of poke at it and see it move a little bit. But that's getting into the wacky end, isn't it? Now you see it for yourself, you're gonna shit your fucking pants, and you're never gonna turn back. And all of your I don't believe in it hoopla is gonna go right out the fucking window. You are going to be on board and have a ball. So I'm cutting it over 10. That's the gist of magnetic compatibility. Nothing else to say. Gracias. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you on behalf of my people in Directive. Thank you on behalf of everybody else that's networking with us. Thank you on behalf of humanity for being here at all. You're a special case of each and every one of you. You are particularly amazing. So continue being excellent. That's the direction. Kila Salai, Terbiuni Siari, Namaste.